Well, hey, everybody. Welcome back to Tweet Trends. Today, I have the wonderful opportunity to interview a young lady. Her name is Yvette Hayward, and I have her here with me today. Hey, Yvette.
Hi, Beth.
She is the president and founder of the African American Literary Award Show. And so because I've never heard of this before, but I was so intrigued, I jumped on it immediately and was like, oh my gosh, Yvette, will you please? Uh-oh. Like the book just jumped down off the shelf. I
We're
jumped
live,
on
people.
I jumped on the opportunity immediately because one, I think that it just sounds like such an awesome event. And then on top of that, just anything to get people reading, I'm a fan of. So if you will you tell the listeners about yourself and about how you came up with the idea of starting this show?
Oh, absolutely. The African American Literary Award Show is my baby. It's a labor of love. I've been trying to give birth to it since 1996 and was able to finally give birth to it, bring it to fruition in 2004. I happen to be, I was always talking about, there should be an award show for authors. There's all these different music award shows, same platform, but nothing for authors. And I have a lot of author friends. So I was one day, and it's so funny because Victoria Christopher Murray always says this story. But one day, author Victoria Christopher Murray, Eric Jerome Dickey, rest in peace, Lolita Files, and a couple of us, we were coming back from Eric Jerome Dickey's book signing event. Now, if you know Eric Jerome Dickey, whenever he has a book signing event, it can last for 3-4 hours, like literally. I mean, he passed away this year, but he was that popular that the lines would just be long, women upon women upon women, just lining up, to get their autograph, to get his autograph, to take pictures, and a lot of times to flirt with him, to see if he has a girlfriend, like the whole nine. Then you would have some women that will, well, not women, you have people that will bring all of his books, like all of them. And being the sweetheart that Eric Jerome Dickey is, if you bought like 20 of his books, he would sit and sign all 20 of them, because if you took the time to do that, he was going to sign it. And it didn't matter how long it took or how long he was waiting in line. He was like, if they took the time to come out here to do this, I'm signing it. And he would sign each and every book. So it just always took long. So I was
Oh
just
my
like,
goodness.
right. So I was just like, okay, well, you know what? We're gonna come towards the end. So we did. We went to dinner, and one thing, whenever Eric comes to New York City, he loves to walk around and everything. He's like, why don't we walk to the hotel? I'm like, walk to the hotel? Do you see I have on heels? What do you mean? He's like, come on, let's just walk to the hotel. So it's like after dinner, it's like maybe 1, 2 in the morning. We're walking in the hotel. So I'm talking about the award show. And I'm just like, well, someone needs to do it, because, I see how you guys, just how you, the writer's block and all of that, and you put so much work in, and, you're not acknowledged, and people need to be acknowledged. I see the work that you could put in. So I kept talking. So, finally Victoria was like, well, then shut up, Yvette, and do it. You keep talking about this stuff, and then just shut up and do it. And I was just like, you know what? I am going to do it, Victoria. I'm going to do it. She's like, okay, well then stop talking about it and just do it. And just let us know what you need. So I was like, okay. So, I'm sitting here trying to get everything together, trying to do it. So then finally in 2004, I was able to bring it to fruition. At that time, I had a partner at the time. And so we put it together and brought it to fruition in 2004. And it was just absolutely great. It was like, I felt like so completed, like a level of completion, like, oh my God, I did this. So we would do it every year and get it done. So we did it in 2004. 2005, we were going to do it again because we were doing it in September. But then Hurricane Katrina happened, yeah. And I didn't feel right about doing it. And then all of this stuff was going on. So we delayed it and did it for 2006. So we did it again. And it's just become like my blood, sweat, and tears, and eventually my partner and I, we split, and I continued on because this was, my baby, what I want to do. So I'm not leaving my baby. And I just continued. And, through the grace of God, I've just been able to bring it on every year. And this is like my 17th year. It's fully funded by me.
That is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. It's fully funded by me. Once in a while, I get sponsors, although I would love to get sponsors because I'm not rich. But, but like I said, through the grace of God, every year I bring it. I bring it to you. It's the biggest thing I've ever done. And I'm so proud of it. And when you come to the award show, it's really great because there's no velvet rope when you get there. I don't have like all the security, like, no, you can't be here. It is basically when you come in, it's like family. It's an award show, but when you come in, the authors, they come in, they fly in, and they're excited. They're excited to see everyone that's there. The people that come up, they get to see their favorite author and they sit and talk with them. They take pictures, they give them advice. No one has this air about themselves. It's just a really great time. And I've had like some really phenomenal authors that come out and support. And I'm just so blessed that the literary public is supporting me, has been supporting me for years to do this, because it's just me. And I have like a small team, and sometimes we don't always get everything correct, but I do what I can and make it happen. And they sit and they support me and they're there every year like clockwork, and so I did it last year, but I did it virtually, but we were right in the midst of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And so now we're kind of still in it this year. So I wasn't sure if people really wanted to be in an enclosed space at the time. So I said, well, why don't we do it virtual again this year? And then God willing, for next year, 2022, we'll go back live again. So yeah, and God has me here, and that's why I'm here today. And 17 years later, I'm the little engine that could. I'm still going. I'm still driving, climbing up the hill.
So now, are you a writer?
No, I'm not.
Really?
I'm not I don't write books or anything, but I am a publicist in the entertainment and literary world. So I do that. So, but I'm not a writer, although people are like, oh my God, Yvette, your story is so great. You should tell your story, because I tell my story about growing up and everything. And they're like, oh my God, when are you gonna write your book? I'm like, I'm not writing no book, but yeah, so.
I think that would be like the perfect, like the icing on the cake. Like you have these literary awards and there you are as well, among the others that are being honored. That, I mean, because your story, just that part of the story already for me is like, oh gosh, tell me more. Like, really? Like, how did you end up in the circle of authors if you're not one of them? I just assumed that because you had all these author friends, that it was because authors come together and they bounce ideas off of each other and sort of thing. And then, so now for you to say that you're not, I'm intrigued. Okay. Some more, please tell me.
Do I have time to tell the story?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so just a little background. As when growing up, my mom used to always say, she didn't motivate me very much, to go out on my own and to be like what I am today. Like, she was the one that would do all of that, but she never motivated me to do it. So she would always say, get a city job because they can't fire you. So make sure you get a city job because they can't fire you. So you got to get a city job. So, but my dream at the time was, and there's nothing totally wrong with this at all, but I wanted to be a secretary. That was my goal. I was going to be a secretary. That was going to go from a secretary to an administrative assistant and then to an executive assistant. And once I became an executive assistant, being a gatekeeper to my boss's office, oh, I made it. I'm like, Mama, I made it. This is it. Like, I didn't know that I could be the person to have that, because it wasn't in me, it wasn't taught. Right. So I went to Norman Thomas High School. My major was Secretarial Studies because, I was serious. So I did that. graduated, and then I went to Betty Owens Secretarial School because I was about my bit. I was going to be the best secretary I could be. So I was going to go and do that. So I did that. I got my first job as a secretary. So I was like, oh my God, this is great. Then I got a job as an administrative assistant at a restaurant. And I was like, holy shoot, I'm halfway there. Lord, look at this, God, look. So I'm there, and I was supposed to be the administrative assistant to the to one of the family members that's there. But they pushed me into public relations. I didn't even know I liked public relations. They pushed me into it, and I was like on the job basically doing it. And so once I started doing it, I realized that I loved it. And I was like, oh, this is great. So I would sit in Barnes and Nobles and Borders and read up on this. I never went to school for it. Read up on books and everything. You know, my first book was Terry Williams. Oh God, I forgot the name of it. I forgot the name of it just now, and that's really bad. But her first book, and I read that cover to cover, and it was just like, okay, you know, this is what I'm gonna do. So then one day, I got into an argument with the one of the people in the restaurant, and they basically were just trying to you know, we just argued a lot. We butted heads. I'll say that we just butted heads, and it just wasn't working after a while. And I was just like, you know what? I took a leaf out on faith, and I left. I left the job. I left it. I was just like, you know, I'm not doing it. I'm not. So I decided, I said, well, you know what? I love literary. You know, I love reading. So I'm going to do big book signing events. This is what I'm just going to do these really great big book signing events, and I'm going to do it. So finally, I decided to do this huge book signing event in the Tribeca area at this restaurant. So I did that, and I was trying to get some authors because, you know, I don't, at this point, I don't know nobody. I know no author. I know nothing. So I was just like, oh, Eric Jerome Dickey, he just got a book out. Okay. So I just happened to decide to call, you know, the publishing house, and they gave me to his publicist. And she said at the time, oh, well, you know, Mr. Dickey, he's not doing tours and he's not on tour anymore. But he said, if anyone is interested in talking to him, to call him. So she gave me his number. God bless that woman.
What?
She gave me his number. I called him. He was so nice and sweet to me. So he was talking to me. He was just like, oh yeah, I'll do it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring you out. I'm bringing you out, you know, so don't worry about, I'm bringing you to New York. I'm gonna put you up and everything. He's like, oh, okay, great. This is wonderful. I did not know how I was going to bring him out because I just left my job. I had no money. I wasn't getting unemployment. So how was I doing it? I didn't know.
Oh my gosh.
God made a way. So I brought him from Los Angeles. You know, that's expensive. From Los Angeles to New York. I put him in at the Hampton Inn Hotel. I saw it online, you know, and I was able to get a car to take him around and everything. So when I finally, and Eric and I would talk every day until it's time to go. We like forged this friendship. So finally, when we met, I go to the hotel. Eric opens the door from the bed. That's how small the hotel is. I bust out crying like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, Mr. Dickey. Oh, he was like, no, I've never been to New York. This is my first time. This is great. I love it here. Don't cry. Thank you.
Oh
I was so
gosh.
embarrassed. I just was like, oh my God, this man gonna talk about me. Long story short, we had this huge event. I had Deneen Milner there, Donna Grant, and Virginia DeBerry, Omar Tari. Like it was huge. It was a success. Long story short, Eric goes back, but when he goes back, he tells people, if you're looking for a literary publicist, I have someone. Her name is Yvette Haber. And I was just giving people my number, and they were calling me, and that's how I got my start as a literary publicist in the literary world. It was because of Eric, and he would hate for me to tell that story, but yes, because of Eric Jerome Dickey. That's how I got started as a literary publicist, because of him. He started calling people and giving them my number, and they would call me, and that's how I got it.
And so basically they would call you and say, I want to come out to
a literary publicist. And so, you know, and I was reading up on public relations and all, and I would help them and create book tours and everything, and get it done. And yeah, then eventually I met Victoria Christopher Murray and introduced her to Eric, Lolita Files and everything. And I became their publicist as well. And now I'm like, we're like brothers and sisters now. It's just all this one big circle. Became a family.
Wow.
From that, from Eric Jerome Dickey doing that for me.
But did he tell you that that's what he was going to do?
No,
Because
he didn't tell me. He told me nothing. I just had people calling me saying, Eric Jerome Dickey told me to give you a call, you know, and I'm looking for a literary publicist for my book. He told me you were great. And I was like, huh? Oh, okay. Hi, how are you? And then I would hang up and then somebody else would call. And then like a couple of days, somebody else would call. So I kept trying to call him like, Eric, you know, call me back. Cause what did you do? All these people, he would never call me back. And he would tell me, he said, no, I knew he was gonna call me back and tell me to stop. So that's why I didn't take your call. So yeah.
oh my
So
goodness.
it's because of him. And that's how I got started in the literary world.
But then you actually had to start a business because you were getting callers.
I was getting so much of it. Exactly. So I did. And that's how I got started in it.
Oh my goodness. You have to write a book. Where are you playing?
That's what everyone says. Everyone says it's so crazy because, you know, my story is just how I came up, like just from my upbringing, you know, and the dealing with my mom and all of that and not having self-love and all of it. And like, I tell that part of the story and all of this, and they're like, oh my God, you got to put it in the book, Yvette. You have to. And I'm like, oh, I'm not writing no book. I'm good. I'm like, no, I don't want nobody to hear my story. And they're like, but they do. I'm like, nah, it's okay.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I mean, because you just don't know. Just from the little bit of time that we've been on together right now, I am so inspired. I am ready to go like march out of this house and be like, you know, dog it, I'm about to take on the world because you can't tell me I can't do it. I'm about to go to secretary school. Why are you playing?
You know, it's like determination is everything. And I have to say, if I can indulge back just into my upbringing, you know, my mom was very negative, you know, and so every time she told me I couldn't do something, I worked doubly hard just to make sure that I could get it done, like to prove her wrong, you know. So it was always just like, don't tell me I can't do X, Y, and Z because I'm going to do it, you know. So, and I know that stemmed from how her mom treated her. So it kind of just trickled down to me, you know. I kind of say that for me, growing up was a struggle. You know, it was such a struggle. Like even like my good girlfriends don't necessarily know because I never really spoke that much on it until I did a show and I talked a little bit about it. So it was growing up, my mom, well, she was verbally abusive. I realize it now that she really didn't know how like to be that type of mother because she was just going based on how her mother treated her and how her mother's mother treated her. But like there was no, she didn't instill self-love in me. So I didn't have that. So I kind of was like a fish out of water trying to find my landing. I didn't know. I was this tall, skinny girl who was dark skinned, you know, hated her dark skin, you know, and felt that if I was light skinned, I could be pretty. So I would pray to God every night to make me light skinned and wake up crying because I was not, you know, and so never had no one telling me that I was pretty, you know, that you're pretty, that you're loved, never receiving a hug or anything. So it really was hard. And then you had people that played into my insecurities and made me go deeper, like down that rabbit hole. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was kind of like trying to be tough, you know, and you see this, your mom, you know, who's just gorgeous and, you know, is a motivational speaker and is doing all these different things, but you're not telling me that I could be that too. You're not saying any of that. You're just kind of being negative and like, oh, you're not going to make it out of junior high school. You're not going to make it out of high school. Like all of these things. But the one thing that I didn't allow you to do is I just kept trying to fight to prove to you. And then, you know, it's like it got to a point where the first time we got into a really bad argument and I was just like, I guess I'm not supposed to be here. So I tried to commit suicide, but I did it. And I called my girlfriend and she stayed with me on the phone. And once she stayed with me on the phone, then I ended up throwing up the pills. Then I think that's when I was like 16. And then another time I think I was 19, we had a really bad argument. Like my mom was saying a bunch of stuff that you should never say to a child, like, and it hurt me to my core. So my brother had like he had a hernia surgery. So they gave him all these pain medication. So I went in the medicine cabinet, because that's where all the medicine is, and I took his pills, and I laid down and I went to sleep. God woke me up. He woke me up. I threw up the pills, and then I knew that there was a reason for me to be here, and I solidified my relationship with God just from that point. But I was still living in the toxic home with my mom and stuff, but it just armored me with just a little more protection against, her words and what she would say, so it went from that then to having like childhood friends and playing on my insecurities. But because you're my childhood friend, I don't think you're out to hurt me or anything, because you're my childhood friend. So why? So I grew up not realizing I was pretty, and didn't realize that I was pretty until I was damn near 30. So
Wow.
I say all that to say, I would love to be a mentor, a motivational speaker to young women, young girls and women, because I don't ever want someone to go through what I went through. I want them
Right.
to know that they're beautiful, to love their skin. Like, I love my beautiful chocolate skin, but back then I was crying to be light skinned, because I thought that was the reason to be pretty,
Right.
was to have the light skin. Light skin equaled beautiful. Dark skin was just like, no. You know what I mean? And I don't want any child, any woman to go through that. I want you to know that you're pretty, have that confidence in you. And I just thank God that he instilled that in me. And I see it. I know it. I look at myself in the mirror, and I love what I see. I know that I'm beautiful. I hate that it took that long till I was damn near 30 in order for that to happen.
Right.
And I don't want that for anybody else. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like my life was a struggle to get to where I am now. Now, here I am now, here I have an award show, 17 years in the game, and I'm still here, and I'm still doing it, and I'm just as humble as ever. If I can say that I'm humble, I mean, I'm just like, my heart is on my sleeve. Like, I'll give someone with the shirt off my back, I mean, I just want to be able to show, like, I did it, you can do it too. You can survive this. You are not your circumstances.
Right.
Determination is everything. Having God in your life is everything. And I'm a living example. And so if I could talk to my younger self, I would have told her back then, you are going to be okay. It's going to be fine. We're going to be okay. This is just a storm that's passing by. We're going to get through this. Don't worry about it. Because I didn't have anyone telling me anything, and I kind of kept it to myself. So I had a brother, I had a sister, but I didn't really confide in them or anything. I mean, well, my brother used to just tell me, oh my God, you are pretty. And I'm like, oh, shut up. You're supposed to say that because you're my brother, so I didn't pay attention to that. But, I just want to be like that saving grace to people that are feeling like that, because you do have girls that's growing up that feel that their skin is not beautiful, or that they're just not pretty at all, are feeling like, because their family says that they feel that they may not be. And I just want to set that example and just let them know, like, let me pull you up by your bootstraps. Like, no, you are beautiful, and you can be anything that you want to be. Don't ever let somebody tell you that you cannot. But I realize now with my mom, it just came from her mom, and her mom, and her mom. And I broke that generation curse, and I'm thankful that I tell people that God raised me, because now I can tell somebody that I love them without it being a problem. My mom never hugged me, so I'm a hugger. So I'm like, if I met you, I would hug you. I love hugging people and talking to them, and just being happy, being positive. I don't allow negativity in. So it's like, if you want to be negative, or you want to bring that drama in, because I've had it all my life, it's just like, I don't want that. I don't want any of that. I don't want to be a part of that. But I'm able to show emotion. I'm able to love a man. I'm able to love a child. You know what I mean? So I'm just
Right.
grateful for all of that. And if I can help somebody else get to that point, then I definitely want to do that. So I want to be a motivational speaker on self-love, and just mentor girls, and just whoever needs to hear the story. So when I tell this story, people are just like, oh my God, Yvette, you have to write a book. You got to talk more about this and but I'm just like, I'm just Yvette. I'm no one. I'm just Yvette. I'm just Yvette, a little girl that got an award show. That's a publicist trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. That's just me.
Oh my goodness. No. Well, let me tell you this. You are a motivational speaker because you have motivated me, and I'm sure several of my listeners are feeling the same way. So the fact that you shared that, just last week we had an episode on National Daughters Day, and I had my husband, myself, and our two girls and our oldest daughter on the show with us. And one of the questions that he asked us was, what do daughters need from their dads? And the things that you spoke to just now are the same things that came out of the conversation, that,
Oh,
needing someone to validate you, to let you know that you are beautiful and you are smart and you can do these things. Because I it's crazy, we have the same name, and I feel like part of our story is the same as well. I didn't get um kind words or actions from my friends growing up, and but because
mhm.
I felt like they were my friends, I didn't look at it like they were being against me.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
when I look back on it, I was like, well, gosh, that was just rude. Like, how
It
could
was
you
just
be
real.
that way?
If I told you half the things that these girls would literally say to me to my face when I think back on it now, and if I ever approached them on it now, they would be like, I didn't say that. I know, but I didn't do like it. I don't even think that they would own up to it. But I mean, and it impacted my life for a
Yes.
while, like with women. Like I was like, oh no, I don't want to meet your friends. I don't want to meet no new women. No, I'm happy with my circle. Like, no, no, I don't want to. No, you can't have my number. I really don't want to meet your friend. I'm good. Like, and it stopped me from forging relationships. I mean, of course, I stopped it now to where I have like so many beautiful women that are in my circle that are like family to me now, and I'm glad that I stopped myself from that. But because of the impact of these girls and what they've done, and I mean, I don't even know if they realize what they've done, as far as that, because it was just like, I don't want to meet any women. No, I'm good. Because I felt like every woman was going to be the same. I felt like I cannot trust you to be honest with me and
Right.
to tell me the truth about anything, because, I was like, and every boyfriend I had, was fine, was handsome, was gorgeous. And they had a problem with everyone. Like, well, wow, Yvette, I thought that I was wondering, like, how did you get him? Because he walked right past me and went to you. Like this is what they would say to me. And I would be like, oh my God, you're right. I don't know. I have no idea. And I would think there's like, well, I don't know, like, was it pity or something? I'm like, oh my God, well, maybe he's with me for pity. And I would break up with the guy, or just
Oh
like,
my
oh,
gosh.
Yvette, while you were hugging him, he was looking at me and flirting with me while you were hugging him. Oh, I'm breaking up with the guy because you're my childhood friend. So it's like, oh no, 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 you can't. But you see what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
played into it. Y'all messed with me, and I played right into your hands with it. So, and it just like any woman that came by, I was like, no, no, I want to, no. Mm-mm. Can I have you? No, I'm good. I'm good. No, no. I'll see you again. I'll see you around. But I've
Right.
evolved. I'm different now. So it's like, I can allow beautiful women in, because I'd like to be around people that are the same as me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give me drama, don't give me any of that. But if you have the same heart that I do, and inside and out, and I can see that, then yes, I'm welcoming you with open arms, and let's forge a relationship. Let's forge a friendship, a sisterhood. And I have that sisterhood now, and I'm just blessed beyond that. God has brought people into my life that's just like me and allowed them for me to call them family. So I'm very happy with that.
Well, now when you get people reaching out for you to come and speak at their youth group meetings and whatnot, don't be surprised, because everything you said just now is like the resume being filled out, and is gonna come to you. I can feel that, because that, I mean, it's like that nothing new under the sun type situation. Like, it goes on, it happens from generation to generation. There's still going to be
Yeah.
mean girls, there's still going to be people like
So
us that are hearing what these mean girls are saying and believe it and think less of ourselves because we think so much of them as our friends.
Right. And see, and now I know how to handle the mean girls. See, back then I didn't know how to handle that. Now I shut down the mean girls, and I can shut you down with my words. I don't even have to touch you. I can just shut you down with my words and everything. So, but I just don't want that for anyone else. Like I despise bullies. I don't want bullying. I don't want any of that to go on with anyone. Young girls, even young boys, whatever. I just don't. But especially with our young girls and our women, you can't tear them down. You know what I mean? You can't. We come in all colors, all hues, and every skin color is beautiful. It's
Yes.
absolutely beautiful. Just the fact that we come in a multiple of different hues is a beautiful thing. It's wonderful, and you have to embrace it. You have to know. So if your family is not there telling that to you, then Auntie Yvette wants to tell you that. I need to tell you every day. If I have to call you every day to let you know that you are beautiful, then that's what I need to do. Because if your family's not doing that, your friends are not doing that, then those you don't need to be around those people.
Right.
You don't. And I mean, honestly, and sometimes even with family, sometimes you may have toxic family members that really don't need to be around in the life, and you may have to just cut them off from that, and need be. I mean, because yes, I mean, blood makes us, blood is thicker than water, as they say, but sometimes, the water is fine too.
Yeah.
Water makes us family. We ain't got to be blood to be family. We don't have to be, because it's so many people that's not related to me by blood that are my family that I can really rely on and count on and call if I want to cry, whatever, and they will be right there and drop what they're doing, because they know I would drop what I'm doing and be right there. And everybody needs it. You need your squad. Everybody needs a squad. You need that. You got to have that. Everyone needs it.
This
young
is
and old.
true. Yes, for sure. Okay, well, hold on now. We gotta get back on track. We
I'm
gotta
sorry.
talk about.
See, I went there. I'm sorry. But yes, let's get back on track.
No. Because I'm there with you. We could go off on that all day. But now, so about the show,
Yes.
I don't even remember. Did we talk about how people go about the process of nominations? And
Okay.
let's make sure we cover that, because
Okay.
our book club readers are out there, and I'm sure they want to get their
Yes,
2
they
cents
are.
in.
I love the book clubs. Shout out to all the book clubs. Shout out. And it's so funny because I one of the categories is book club of the year, and there's one book club that won. And and I need to just say to book clubs, because I'm trying to find them to notify them, and I can't. There's no information. So I just want to say just to book clubs, you need to put some type of contact information on there for someone to find, like the founder or something. If you are on Facebook, because I'll even go on Facebook and put stuff on there and don't hear back from no one. So even if you're on these social settings as well, you need to check it. Even if you have a social manager doing it, they need to, if they see something there, they need to tell you. Because I'm trying to search for this one book club and that I cannot find. And I've sent messages on Facebook. I've sent messages on their Facebook page, and they are not responding. But I love all the book clubs. Just put more information. But the nominations process starts in May, and what I'll do is on all my social media platforms, as well as I'll send an email blast, and I'll send it to everyone and say, hey, it's that time again for nominations, and I'll send all the instructions on what you're supposed to do, and I'll put that on all the social platforms, on email, put it all there, and I send it out, and I let them know it's always the third week in May, and it ends the end of June. Okay. And so it's always in May. That's when it happens. So that's how I'd send that out. And the responses are so overwhelming. It's just crazy how many stuff. I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. But I'm blessed that people are still with me. And they look forward to when they do it. So yeah, so that happens in May. It ends in June, July. I do the nominations announcement. If we were live, I would do it at my girlfriend Melba's restaurant in Harlem and do like the nominations announcement. But since we haven't, I did it on Instagram Live, and I'll have different people come out and we announce who the nominees are. And then right after that, we do the voting, and then the voting starts in August and it ends the first week in July. I mean, the first week in September.
There we go.
And then October, after I tally all the winners and stuff, I start to notify people and have them keep it confidential until after the award show. And then the first week in October is always the award show is when it happens. So I just prepare for the award show, and then the time comes and we're there, and and then that Sunday I sleep for a day to get rest.
Wow. So the award show is right around the corner. It's October 2nd at 7 p.m. Now, how can people find you on social, as well as how can they find out where in the internet world the actual show is going to be broadcast?
Okay, well, it's going to be live on Zoom, and we're streaming it via Facebook Live. So they can go to my Facebook page. Well, my personal Facebook page is Yvette Hayward, Hayward, or they can go on a award show page, which is African American Literary Award Show. Mm-hmm. If they need to send me an email for anything, they can at Yvette@literaryawardshow.com. They can do that. My the award show Instagram is African_literary_awards. That's on Instagram. And for Twitter, it's literary award show on there. And those are my social handles. I'm not that social savvy, but it's always me that's checking everything on social. I don't believe in having somebody else do it and tell me something later. Mm-hmm. I check everything. It's only me.
All right. So I will be sure to add those different handles in our when we put out the podcast. I don't know why all of a sudden I can't talk. But I'll be sure to put all your handles out there and make sure that we get a super turnout on the 2nd. Yeah. I am so excited, and I am looking forward to, we're going to have to chat. I might have to get you on another show.
Okay. And I was so nervous coming on. I was just like, oh God, what's she going to ask me? I hope I'll be okay. I hope I sound okay. So.
Oh, no.
But she made me feel very comfortable. But yeah, I'm here. If you want me on another show, I'm available. Definitely.
Awesome. Well, Yvette, thank you so much for spending this time with us. And like I said, we are going to get the people to tune in, and then hopefully once you get the show back live, I'm going to do my best to make sure that I get there. I have an aunt that lives in Brooklyn and a cousin in New Jersey that I'm sure I could drag her there. Like, come on with me. Let's go to the award show.
You love it. It's so great seeing it in person. The only difference is we're not on TV, but every award show that you see on TV with the presenters, they come up, they get the envelope, they get the award. It's exactly what you see on TV. It's just not on TV yet, but.
There you go. Not yet. It's going.
Not yet, but it's coming.
I'm one of your cheerleaders. I'm going to do my best to try to get it on TV. If we have to create our own television station to get it on there.
Definitely. But hopefully, God willing, with this pandemic, they'll get everything straightened out. And in 2022, we'll be back live for the 18th year. So.
All right. Let's do this. All right. Once again, Yvette, thank you so much.
Thank you.